Awards time, and a warm welcome to the Sun's brilliant TV critic, Ali Ross. How are you, Ali?
Hello, Kev. Good to see you.
Good
nice
to see
bubonic plague link there.
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
yeah. Talking to the bubonic plague, here's Ali Ross. No,
this is Sun's TV critic.
So yeah, that's our awards. That's our awards ceremony music, because you've got together a series of awards for the worst television of the year. Always very, very hotly contested.
Particularly this year.
Yeah, particularly this year. Let's go first for a category that we both enjoy very much: worst reality TV. Lots of contenders. We don't really have time to talk about any of the others that came close. No. Let's just concentrate on the winners. What won worst reality TV show of the year?
Don't Rock the Boat.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. It's fairly recent in the memory, that one.
Yeah,
but
very, very awing TV.
Yeah. And that's quite possibly because we saw Craig Charles take a dump in a bucket on prime time.
I remember watching. You got me to watch an episode of it, and basically to remind the viewers, it was a bunch of celebrities getting in boats and rowing. For some reason, the episode that I watched, they just sort of chucked all these ropes between rocks, and they were all climbing around on the rope. Wasn't quite sure what they were doing, but one of them was afraid of heights, so they all said he was a hero because he got on the rope or something. I mean, it was.
It's like Tom Watson.
That's it. Still fat Tom Watson. He's lost a lot of weight, but he's still fat.
What a hero.
Great politician, great celebrity. Actually, we could have
not been seen again, has he? He's not got his own chat show off the back of that one.
Yeah, we should have that. Worst former politician, Tom Watson.
Tom Watson haunting my life.
Yeah, but let's leave Tom where he belongs, in obscurity. Let's move on to worst drama.
Yeah, I thought there were two serious contenders for this. Mm-hmm. The Salisbury poisonings, which concentrated on the health and safety element of a fascinating...
Not the Novichok, not the international intrigue, not the spy element,
not the Royal Marines.
Yeah, but the health and safety.
It had a whole scene. It must have lasted a good 50 minutes of a council meeting where all the relevant fallout issues were raised with the subcommittee of the Health and Safety Department of Wiltshire County Council.
It's as if they all got together. Was it BBC or ITV? I can't remember. BBC?
I can't remember.
Whoever it was. It's as if they got together to say, how can we suck the drama out of the Novichok saga?
Yeah. Put your bib on. Yeah. We're going to rope off this.
Clear the roads. Careful. Clean the streets. Disinfect that restaurant. Yes, it was.
What Russians? Yeah. They're not important.
I think.
Tape off this area.
I think you're right. That was the worst drama of the year.
Although the other one was Roadkill.
Yeah, narrowly pipping Roadkill, the awful David Hare rubbish to the post. Tell us about Roadkill.
Yeah, that was just straight up propaganda. You know, David Hare is a very left-wing playwright.
Yes, he's useless as well.
He's highly regarded. He's not actually written anything that's decent, but he is left-wing, so he gets a lot of work. And he came up with this character who resembles Boris Johnson in he's Boris. He's got an illegitimate kid kicking around.
That's a scandal these days.
Yeah, but this whole centre of this plot was that he'd been to an American think tank and discussed privatising the health service.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Well, exactly. You expected a clap of thunder every time they mentioned it. It was meant to be so since. I'm sure half the people think, well, fair enough.
There's a lot of people like me rooting for him, going, yeah, good idea. Privatise this useless health service.
Yeah, and once you're done with that, I've got a list of other things you could do.
Yeah, I've got a whole list of things I'd like them to privatise.
Yeah, the criminal justice system for a start. Yeah. But it never got that. It was 4 episodes, and it just had no legs at all.
Yeah. Privatise the BBC. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Fantastic. Yeah, that's series 3.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be a hero by series 4 if he
Yeah,
does all that stuff. But
yeah.
I think the Salisbury poisonings just pipped it.
Yeah, we'll give it to the Salisbury poisonings
because it had so much potential.
But highly lowly commended Roadkill. David Hare's nonsense that plumbed extraordinary depths. Let's move on to most woke program. We did actually come up with a category that was most woke, but we can't really say what we said. Most woke program. What does that go to?
I had a short list of about 100 here.
Well, the one that you chose, you went for Dear NHS Superstars. That one passed me by. What was it?
It was the BBC inevitably, and it was in the middle of the first lockdown. But it was just a bunch of celebrities saying why they worship the NHS. But they'd recorded it before COVID, so absolutely none of them mentioned the coronavirus. Yeah. But you had the likes of Phil Wang saying, yeah, I had a mouth ulcer once, and the professionalism of these people, it was just incredible.
When I broke my arm, I mean, I was just lost in wonder the way they mended it. Yeah,
they treated it.
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't just tell me to F off and say, what do you think this is? Health service?
Actually, that's what they like to do. They don't like to be bothered. We all have to sort of make sure that the health service doesn't ever have to treat the sick, apparently. It's like I say, 50,000 people have died not getting treatment because the NHS became obsessed with COVID only, and 10,000 people who went into hospital with other conditions caught COVID. So I think that during the next inevitable lockdown, we shouldn't go on our doorsteps and applaud the NHS. We should boo them. Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Bring in the American system. Privatise the NHS. So yes, that was a good one, but it just edged into second place. And God, I hated this program. The school that tried to end racism, which was actually the school that that successfully made its kids cry by telling them that although they didn't think they were racists, they really were.
Yeah, this is a really sinister strain. That's coming.
Evil program.
Yeah, it was nasty. Sinister program where it took a bunch of really nice school kids who had not a problem in the world other than all the usual ones of growing up, and basically told them to take this secret test which would show that they were in fact prejudiced. And one of them, they were all asked to come in with bits and bobs which gave them their identity, and one girl bought an England flag. Okay, that wouldn't be my choice, but she was humiliated in front of the whole class by saying, this makes us think of the BNP. What are you playing at, you little fascist?
And that little ginger kid as well, who was about 8 years old. Yeah, you are, although you're sitting next to your friends who are young people of colour, you are really a racist. The poor little kid burst into tears. I mean, those adults and those...
It was horrible.
That headmaster who let that programme into his school should be fired. And those teachers who did that to those children should be put in prison, if you ask me. Absolute damn disgrace that was.
It's all based on a thing called unconscious bias, which is no bias at all, but we're going to say you have anyway, because basically we're getting paid by people like Channel 4 for this absolute racket.
Yes, really
to say something exists that just doesn't. It's fantasy. And they did it in a school which was in a very nice suburb of London, and you could tell it was quite middle class. So there were parents stupid enough to go and challenge them. Go to a secondary school in Glasgow where the life expectancy is less than it is in Jamaica and Mexico. Tell those kids they're racist. Go on, I dare you. Yeah. Because you wouldn't have the bottle.
I know. It was a disgrace, absolute disgrace, and a real woke pile of rubbish, a dangerous pile of rubbish, if you ask me.
Dangerous and sinister.
Yeah. We're gonna leave out Britain's greatest comedy character on goal, which was basically a bunch of left-wing comedians. That they're not funny, but they were left-wing. Let's move on to worst show of the year.
Yeah, I've thought about this a long time. I've gone for Peter Crouch, Save Our Summer.
Then you wrote
Did
to me,
you watch it, Kev? Did you?
no, you wrote Peter Crouch, Save Our Summer. He didn't.
He didn't. No, he blighted a lot of the autumn
I
as well.
did watch it because you made me watch it. It was awful. I think actually Peter Crouch could be good, but that was not the vehicle.
Peter Crouch is a star in the making. He's funny and he's likable. He's funnier than most comedians these days. And he's self-deprecating, but they threw him this grenade and it went off in his face. Basically a show with no sort of substance to it at all.
Yeah.
He was just meant to make the best of it
And
around an enormous table with Maya Jama.
That's right. That's right. And also some sort of celebrity guest leaning over a fence or something. It was because it was all socially distanced, wasn't it? It really was. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. But I do hope that the BBC don't jettison Peter Crouch, because he is a potential TV star, but not in that rubbish. Right, let's move on. My God, this is a difficult category. You must have agonised long into the night about this one. Worst comedy. Where do you start?
Crikey, I can't even remember what I picked at the end of all that, Kev.
Well,
there were quite a few.
You did say...
Go on, horrify me.
Mo Gilligan's All-Star Happy Hour.
Mo Gilligan's All-Star Happy Hour. It wasn't All-Star. It certainly wasn't happy, and it felt like a lot longer than an hour. This was at the stage of the year when people were just sort of messing around in their front rooms and bedrooms, and they'd got a video call set up, and there was a quiz of sorts, and Maya Jama was involved again.
If she's in it, switch off.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
God.
It came and it went, and you won't ever see it again, I don't think. But you'll be seeing a lot more of Mo Gilligan, I would imagine, because he's likable, he's just not funny. It's a neat trick.
They've all got this sort of tragedy about them, haven't they? That they think they're funny, but they're not.
Oh, comedians, man, they're the worst.
Right, let's. This is another hotly contested category, but I knew always what the winner would be. Worst soap. Of course, it's the Vale of Tears, Albert Square.
The great boat disaster of 2020. This boat sank, and they only lost. They could have cleared out the cast, and it could have been a bright new dawn for EastEnders. But they only got rid of that little git Denny. And at the end of all this, there was no sort of no media attention, no huge inquiry. Blimey, a boat has sunk in the middle of the Thames. They'd just forgotten about it 2 episodes later.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And at the moment, we're being assailed by Danny Dyer's, Mick Carter's long ago problems as a little boy when he was sexually...
which he suddenly remembered.
Oh, God. Yeah, and he's going through agony about it, isn't he?
So the idea is that he's going to commit suicide on Christmas Day, except he won't because he's Danny Dyer.
Mick, be our guest. Go ahead.
Any more than they could kill off Ian Beale.
Yeah, if Mick Carter committed suicide on Christmas Day, at last that would be a happy storyline for EastEnders. A nation would rejoice. We forgot one area, Ali. Great.
I know where you're going here.
Yeah. Well, let me just put it. I love it.
Absolutely love it.
Worst daytime show. Steph's packed lunch.
Yeah. This is amazing, because this was another one that started off in her living room, and then very abruptly they pulled the lever on that one. You think, well, it's just gone. It's gone forever, and we can all laugh about it. But no, come the autumn, it's back, and they made it longer.
It was going on about 90 minutes.
As you thought, the only thing that's wrong here, Steph, is there's not enough of you. We need more. We need an earnest discussion for about 25 minutes on.
It regularly
it lingers.
It registers with no viewers whatsoever.
No viewers. It's me and you, Kev, that are watching this.
Yeah. Well, they could.
I don't think your heart's really in it anymore.
It's either. Not really, no. Although I do occasionally tune in with my mouth, my jaw open, going, "My God, this is getting worse." As you said, it's kind of filmed in a kind of disused Starbucks restaurant, and they could could move it back into her house and take the entire audience with them, couldn't they?
I could sit there in the kitchen watching, taking notes.
Yeah. Welcome to this special edition of Steph's Packed Lunch. It's me, Steph, and the audience. So we're in a phone booth this week. I mean, no one is watching that, and it will die a death, no matter what Channel 4 think.
Yeah, they had the woman who talks to angels on it this week, and I swear to God, Chris Kamara asked her, "Is there an afterlife?" I said, "Well, if anything proves it, it's this show."
Listen, Ali, fantastic awards, very prestigious.